Recently, I watched a documentary called The Last Blockbuster. I think that's what it was called. Anyway, it was the story of Blockbuster Video and how the Blockbuster video rental chain had gone from, a small mom and pop creation to this massive company that spanned all of North America and a number of other countries as well, and then subsequently shrunk down to being obsolete and completely disappearing, with the exception of one Blockbuster store that still exists in Oregon. Now, during this documentary, there were a number of interviews with many different people, and one of the gentlemen that they interviewed was talking about how when he worked for Blockbuster, one of the ways, I guess, in which he found meaning, although I don't know that he used those words, was that he had compiled a long list of movies that he had seen, and he was able to talk to customers, find out what they liked or what mattered to them, and then make recommendations to them about movies that they may enjoy watching. And or there were times when people would come up to the counter and they'd have a movie that they were thinking about checking out and say, what do you think about this movie? And he was able to either recommend the movie or tell them, it wasn't that great. And then people might still check out the movie, but then they would go home and find that they agreed with him. And then when they came back, they would say, oh, okay, our taste in movies, I guess, is similar. So now we can trust you to make recommendations for us in the future because we agreed with you, or I agreed with you on this one particular movie. And as I was listening to this explanation of this aspect of this man's job working at Blockbuster, I realized how foreign that entire concept sounded to me. Now, I'm not unaware that people do that. I know that there are people who both ask for the recommendation, and there are people who are quick, perhaps, to want to be or to be an authority or an advisor that others can go to for advice on what movie they should or should not watch. But this was foreign to me because I would never do that. I would never go into a video rental store and go up to a random stranger and say, albeit a stranger who works for the video store, and say, did you like this? Was this good? Do you recommend this? I don't care if the person who works at the video rental store liked it or not. And it's not because they work at the video rental store. I don't care if the person, the other patron shopping there liked it or not. I don't care if my friends liked it or not. I don't care if my family liked it or not. I am the introverted feeling final judger, final decision maker on what I believe to be likable or unlikable, good or bad, valuable or worthless. I don't poll the audience to ask them what is a good movie. I do not poll the audience to ask them what are good songs. Anything of that nature. I don't go to my friends and say, what music do you like? I don't go to my family and say, seen any good TV shows? I don't do that. And I don't believe that as a general rule, introverted feeling wants to do that. When a person has high introverted feeling, like an ISFP or an INFP, that person will tend, and obviously you're going to be able to think of exceptions to this rule, but as a general rule, that person will tend to want to be the final arbiter of what he or she finds to be valuable or not valuable, good or bad, enjoyable or not enjoyable, likable or not likable. If you taste food at a restaurant and you like it, and you tell me their food is really good, that in essence, in all honesty, that means nothing to me, because my tastes are completely different from yours. And whether or not I will like the food is not in any way contingent upon whether or not you liked the food. And therefore, your recommendation to me about the taste of the food is relatively irrelevant. Your recommendation to me about whether or not you liked the song or liked the band is relatively irrelevant. Your recommendation to me of whether you liked the movie or liked the TV show or did not like it is relatively irrelevant, because I find that I like things because I like them, and it doesn't matter one iota whether anyone else or everyone else did or did not like the thing. Now, that can be contrasted with extroverted thinking in the ISFP, where extroverted thinking will take into consideration the way other people accomplish tasks or do things. But when it comes to what we like, what we value, what we find to be good or bad, the opinions of the masses are irrelevant, and largely the opinions of any one individual is largely irrelevant too, because I have my own taste, I have my own likes, I have my own way that everything from taste to sound to sights to movies to stories, books, everything. I have my own way that they strike me. And the fact that they struck you a certain way means nothing as it pertains to whether or not it will strike me the same way. So the idea of having this person that works at the movie store that I'm going to go in and consult on what movie I ought to rent seems odd to me. And I was talking just this very day to an INFJ, and I asked her about that same concept, and she said, no, she is very much one who would take into considerations the general consensus of the group of people that maybe she trusts or the general public as a whole, as far as, well, people tend to be saying that this movie is really good, so I'll go check it out. Or people tend to be saying that this movie is not so good, so I will avoid it. People tend to like this music over here, so I'm going to listen to it. Or people tend not to like this music over here, so I'm going to avoid it. And that's a more extroverted feeling way of approaching things. It's the way of saying, well, the general populace, or my group in particular, find value in this thing, or they like this thing, and therefore I want to expose myself to it and take it into my known, because if they all find it valuable, then perhaps I'll find it valuable too. Or maybe even I find it valuable because they find it valuable. If my group likes it, I'm likely to like it too. Or maybe I like it because my group likes it. For the high FI, introverted feeling person, those thoughts will almost never enter the mind. I just simply don't care if my friends, my family, the group around me, or the population as a whole, or some critic who writes for a newspaper or a blog or whatever else. I just don't care if they liked the food, liked the movie, liked the music, liked the band, liked the television show. It's irrelevant to me, because I will decide for myself whether I like it. And that is an area where you can really distinguish between people who are using introverted feeling high versus people who are using extroverted feeling high. Now, this is still going to hold true with people who use introverted feeling low or extroverted feeling low. They're still going to make those value judgments, those like and dislike judgments on the same terms. It's just that it won't maybe be so obvious in some situations, because the valuing and the liking in general, since they favor thinking above feeling, is going to be lower, and it's not going to come out in such daily, over the top, oh my gosh, obvious, all the time ways. So I hope you found this to be useful. If you did, please click the like button. Please subscribe if you have not already. And to all of you subscribers out there, thank you very much. And to all of you regular watchers, thank you very much. And to all of you who have donated to my channel through the Ko-fi website, thank you very much. And if you would be interested in doing so, there will be a link below where you can do that. Again, thank you all, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye now.